You trained in like wrestling, like before he did YouTube.
Yep.
What like sparked your interest in wrestling from the beginning? Was it something you were just always into?
So I don't remember a point in my life when I wasn't into wrestling. Like when I was little, I loved like Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, much less eventually for many reasons.
He's had a few scandals.
Oh, more than a few. That guy sucks in about 12 different ways. But so then anyway, I actually worked this job that I really, really liked, and I got fired, and it was like devastating. It was like this was pre-YouTube, and it fucking sucked. And I was like, okay, I thought I was like kind of following all the right paths and doing all the right things like professionally, and now I kind of have nothing, and especially like I knew my confidence was super low, and I was like, okay, fuck it, pie in the sky, what do you want to pursue? Like, what do you want to go after? And I was like, maybe I could be a wrestler.
Try it out.
So I looked it up, and there was actually this wrestling school within like 3 miles of my place.
Right.
And so I just started training there for like 6 months, and the only reason I stopped is like, that shit is so hard. And I say that as someone who has done like contact martial arts pretty much my whole life. Professional wrestling was like the toughest training I've ever done.
Damn.
Because like with martial arts, the objective is to not get your head kicked in.
Yeah.
This was like, no, you're gonna get fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and the only reason I stopped is because like YouTube started to kind of become a thing, and I was like, I gotta put my whole ass into one of these things, you know?
You can't just spread yourself thin.
Yeah.
So like that's a badass origin story. Imagine training to be a wrestler, and then I'm gonna make anime videos.
I don't know if badass is the word
I mean, compared to anyone else I know in the anime community, I'm like,
Just imagine you throwing some dude around the ring, thinking of being pissed off about Hunter x Hunter. You're like, I'm gonna make a fucking video about this and try to get it out.
Would you do any like, you know, YouTuber like kind of like sporting or boxing events like becoming a thing now? Would you ever consider doing that, especially with your
totally
kind of like, you know what we need?
I would be very afraid for your opponent. I feel like you have the drive that is terrifying. If you could make a video like that about Garfield, what could you do if you actually had to fight
what
someone?
could I do to the human body?
I just don't want to know.
do you have like a dream entrance you would make if you like ever did like a sporting event like that? Because you know, you love your wrestling. I know.
I think the problem is I've had a couple over the years. I think, you know what? Rather than going for like a big heavy theme song, I think it'd be kind of badass to walk into Guts' theme.
Just like slow and somber,
like real Undertaker slow steps.
That would be so badass.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, because like you obviously made a video, you know, about Berserk as well. Would you say like, do you have like, I know this is a fucking question every anime YouTuber hates, but you're on a podcast, I gotta ask it. Do you have like a top 5 or like things that like anime that mean the most to you?
Oh, so I think Berserk is like the best story ever.
Yeah.
Like fucking
hands
period.
down.
Yeah.
And I read books. Real
books.
I think Berserk is legit like the best thing we as a species have done. I fucking love it so much. But in terms of like, say, anime, I could probably do a top 5. I think my top 3 are like Evangelion, Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, number 4, and I could probably pick something number 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be kind of the rough one for me.
Hell yeah.
Good
choice.
Respectable list.
Yeah, very, very respectable list.
Definitely.
But,
So,
like,
go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah.
I said, I gotta ask, how the fuck did you go into Garfield? What was all that about? How did that happen?
I don't know, because as I explained in that video, I never had any okay, no, actually, it was when I think I was like, someone was telling me that there was a lot of weird Garfield shit online, and like I love fandom. I love people taking this license and doing cool shit with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just fascinated by that process. I love fan art. I like love anything that's kind of transformative like that. And someone sent me I'm sorry, John. And I was like, oh, weird. And I was like, my thought at the time was like, I should do like a little 20-minute video about this.
What do you want to explain
Or
what that
slash
is?
I'm sorry, John is like a subreddit of the most fucked up fan art you can imagine of Garfield.
Is this one of them?
Well, actually,
Oh God, what is that?
yeah. So
my
yeah,
God.
it's that. There's another one called /I'm really sorry, John.
Oh my God.
Really don't advise people look at that.
Oh God.
And so, but like, I just became fascinated with like, how did we get
did they
to
get to this
this?
point?
Yeah.
And then like, I remember I was kind of, my mom was asking me what I'm working on. I was like, I'm playing around with this idea of Garfield and like, you know, this weird fandom around it. And she was like,
no.
Oh man, God.
Oh, it's been banned from Reddit.
Oh, it's been banned from Reddit.
as someone who spent a little time on there, rightfully so.
Oh, God.
But I said to my mom, and she was like, "Oh yeah, because you used to have your little Garfield teddy," and I was like, "No,
What?
no, I didn't."
Oh no.
And then she was like, "Yeah, you did," and I was like, "I think you're thinking of like my cousin," and then she was like, "No, you did." And then I was like, I fucking didn't. And then she sends me a photo of as a kid holding this Garf, and I'm like, what the fuck? And at that point, it kind of triggered the idea
prophecy.
that like Garfield is this kind of
ever
eldritch
presence,
being,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And it just became such a fun narrative to make, you know?
Hell yeah. Yeah, because do you have like a process in terms of like how you come up with video ideas? Because, you know, it started off with anime and now it's just like fucking anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is it just kind of like where you can find like an interesting story, or is there something that draws you?
It's just, I get an idea in my head and I can't get rid of it. And I
Yeah.
think at the point where my friends are like, would you fucking stop talking about this? That's when it's like, I should probably make a video
Oh
about
my
this now.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
actually kind
wow.
of sick, though.
That's kind of
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, a lot of it's really sick.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's so cool.
That's so sick.
Because you did one on Garfield, you did one on Sonic as well, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Remember the day? remember I was like looking up all parts of Sonic, and there's basically a day I basically had to go on Pornhub and be like, let's see what's on Pornhub, how much Sonic porn there is on Pornhub, right?
Oh God.
And
we don't need to search it up.
I'm like looking at all this stuff, and I get a phone call from my dad.
Yeah.
And like my dad will usually call me when like it's something kind of serious. Like he's the one who'll be like, okay, he's like, John, listen, there's this global pandemic starting, and I think we're all probably gonna have to stay inside for a little while, and just so you know, don't go outside. And it was like a really harrowing phone call.
Right.
And then like I'm like, okay, cheers, dad, I appreciate it. And I hang up the phone and I turn back to my monitor, and there's Rouge the Bat sucking Shadow the Hedgehog stick. And I'm just like,
No, I understand.
oh,
that.
my
Thank you.
job's fucking weird. You know? It's like, don't call me, dad, I'm working.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. I wonder if I've ever had that I'm trying to think back now if I've just ever had that realization about how weird my job is. I've never had that moment where I'm just I mean, you do some weird fandoms. One video I found super fascinating is when you go into like real life kind of like the, you know, kind of like the fake martial arts. That was like one of my favorite ones as well, just because I also grew up watching like a lot of martial arts films and stuff like that, and just seeing how deep this rabbit hole went.
It's so weirdly prolific.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, like, you would think, so for people who don't know, it's like basically these people who think they have magical powers they got through martial arts, and they do like the no contact KOs and all this kind of stuff. But the weird thing, it's still popular. Like, there's people who still really believe that stuff.